All right, welcome back to KFYR Plus in the news desk. While many of us will be enjoying the fireworks coming up tomorrow, those celebrations can be very stressful and even dangerous to some of our pets. Here to share some tips on how to keep our pets safe and calm during the holiday is Dr. Rin with the American Humane. Welcome, Dr. Rin. Thank you for joining us here this afternoon.
Thank you.
Well, as we know, July 5th is the largest intake date in the country for animal shelters because of the runaway pets. Now, Dr. Rin, what do we as pet owners need to do in order to, well, I guess, keep our pets safe and sound sensitive?
Yes, absolutely. We all want to keep our pets safe and comfortable this 4th of July weekend. So it all starts with knowing your pet. So for those of us who have sound sensitive pets, we know that loud noises such as thunder and fireworks can create anxiety for them. So you'll want to ahead of time take a step to make sure your pet has identification. Make sure your pet is microchipped and or has an up-to-date identification tag on their collar, because if your pet does get lost, you're much more likely to be reunited with them if they have proper identification with your correct contact information. Then on the night of the 4th, you'll want to create a safe haven for your pet. Don't bring your pet to the fireworks show that they're not going to enjoy. Instead, bring them inside to a quiet, escape-proof room or crate. You'll want to keep the windows closed and draw the shades so you can minimize the sound and the flashes of light. For added comfort, you could consider turning on background noise like the television or a white noise machine, and give them their favorite toy or chew to distract them.
So I know that you had
She's,
mentioned a
yeah.
cart. Is that that's a good idea? I mean, if you have just an escape-proof room, would that be fine? Just close the door behind you instead of putting them in the cart. Because wouldn't I mean, I personally would feel for my dog, and this is just my own experience. My poor little dog would just tear apart the cart and everything that's inside of it. You know what I mean?
Yes, you'll want them to go to where they're used to being, where their safe
Yeah.
place is. So if they're not crate trained or kennel trained, that's not the time to do it. You're right. Put them in an area where they're going to be comfortable and safe.
What are some calming aids, Doc, or maybe techniques that may help alleviate some stress and anxiety in the pups or animals that this will help during the more so thunderstorms because they happen more often than we get a July 4th?
Right. There are some products on the market, such as thunder shirts that pets can wear, but I would try these out ahead of time and make sure your pet is comfortable. If you have an extremely sound sensitive pet, consult your veterinarian. They may recommend some medication, but don't medicate an anxious pet without talking to your veterinarian. You may want to contact an animal behaviorist to work with your pet if they have some extreme fears. You can work on that ahead of time.
It's probably not a wise idea, but some people do it. They like to get together with family and friends to go outside and watch the festivities. So, but sometimes we have to leave our pets unattended during this time, don't we?
We do, yes. But as long as our pet is secure inside in a quiet, safe haven, then they will be doing great. They would love that companionship of having their human with them if possible. But as you said, that's not always possible.
Now, what if you have two dogs? Keep them together, obviously, or what if you have the neighbor's dog and you guys are together in the backyard shooting these fireworks off? Would you recommend putting the two dogs that are somewhat familiar at least together, or no?
Depends how familiar they are. If they are friends and they've been together before and get along well, they'll be more comfortable together, especially if they're from the same household. If the dogs don't know each other, it's best for them to stay in their own homes in that space that you've created for them to be safe.
Yeah, that could lead to a lot more stress. I can totally understand that. Doc, would you happen to know the science behind sound sensitivity in the dogs?
Really, it just has to do with however that dog was raised. Some of us have rescue dogs where we don't know what kind of sound exposure they had experienced growing up. Other times we can just see as our dogs age, they can become more sensitive to sound. So again, it comes back to just knowing every dog or cat is individual. So knowing your own pet is key.
It is odd. I have two dogs. One is very sensitive to thunder, more so than anything. Very clingy when he hears the thunder, and kind of just feels the whole weather activity, and of course the fireworks. But the other dog, no, doesn't matter. I mean, it could be lightning and thundering right in the backyard, and they don't even care. So it's just really amazing in how these two dogs can be different. Let's talk about IDing your pet. We want to make sure all the information, as you mentioned up front there, that's all up to date on your pet.
Right. Yes. Make sure that ID tag has your current cell phone number and they have a microchip in case their collar would come off.
Let's talk about also medicating. You said you should talk, of course, to a veterinarian if that comes to it, or a sedation of some sort. Let's tell the folks that are watching a little bit about that. What kind of medication are you thinking about if you have to go that route?
There are, as you mentioned, some medications that have sedative effects, but again, that's really an individual dog decision as well. So that's why it's important to consult an expert veterinarian for your particular pet to see what's best.
And what message would you like to convey to pet owners about prioritizing their dogs and their well-being during this 4th of July holiday?
Well, fireworks aren't the only Independence Day issue that pet owners should consider. You'll want to keep an eye on your furry friends all day long. So if there's cookouts, barbecues, sun and fun pool parties, your pet cannot have enough shade and fresh drinking water when out in the heat. And when you've got the grill going, think about there's foods like chicken bones and corn on the cob that can be dangerous for pets. Even chocolate, avocado, onions are all toxic for pets. So be sure to keep an eye on the table. And other things that might be around over the festivities, keep your sunscreen, matches, lighter fluid, citronella products all out of reach for your pets since they can be dangerous. And then by taking these precautions, the 4th of July will be fun and worry-free for the whole family, including the four-legged family members.
Those are some great points, Dr. Amy Wren with the American Humane. Thank you so much. We appreciate your expertise, and I've got to devise a plan to keep my doggies now safe for July 4th. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. And have yourself a great and safe, happy 4th of July, all right?
Thank you. Same to you.
All right, 1237 here at the KFYR Plus News Desk. Let's take a break. We're right back here with more next on KFYR Plus.